Yo, what is going on, everybody? We're here for the quarterfinals slash round 3 playoffs game. We were facing MrMag today. We're doing our team builder here. This is not a matchup I like a lot. If you look down in the corner and you see the matchup, you look at Meg's first mon, you're gonna see a Terra Iron Bundle. Now, if you were watching my games in the regular season, you know I went 7-1 with my one loss being against Terra Water Iron Bundle, just clicking Terra Blast over and over again, and my team just couldn't handle it. My draft can't really handle it. But yeah, we're hopefully gonna able to take him down this time and beat him because I really want to win this league, obviously. And that all starts with winning this game here. So getting into our um team here in a sec. The matchup is in the bottom corner, as always. Meg's team consists of Terra Iron Bundle, Landorus, Therian, Sneasler, Heatran, Ogrepon, Blastoise, Thundurus, Therian, Blissey, Sableye, and Terra Rhydon. As for the Mons, I think any of the top 9 can come. I think the most likely team is Bundle, Lando, Sneasler, Heatran, Blastoise, Sableye. I could see Blissey coming. Um, I don't think it's the greatest, but I could see it coming if he doesn't want to bring Heatran. I could see Ogrepon coming. I think it's kind of bad into me though, so I don't think it will. Um, I could see Thundy coming, and then Thundy and Bundle will be able to break down my special walls pretty well and help each other out for the most part. I think top 3 are locked coming. Or Sneasler less, so I think a Sneasler could be benched. Bundle and Lando, I think, are for sure coming 100% of the time. I think Sneasler and Heatran are very, very strong. So I think they will come most of the time. Sableye Encore, it's never a bad thing to have into a team. I have a lot of dark types that could kind of abuse it. But you can put screens up on the dark types. You have Kiwi for my ogre. You have Encore. Um, you have Spin Block. So I think Sableye has a good chance of coming. And then last slot, I think it's gonna be Blastoise because that's his best swap into a POW. So anyway, enough with the matchup. We'll get into what I brought. So first mon up is November Air, the Team POW, rocking Banded POW this week. 68 HP, 252 attack, 188 speed, Adamant, Crunch, Shard, Sacred Sword, and Sucker Punch. I decided to ignore the Sneasler speed tier, and I went right down to his Ogrepon because that gave me Adamant, and Adamant makes a big difference in banded calcs, mostly against Blastoise against Heatran. Um, I think I Oko bundle with a banded sucker as well because of Adamant, so it helped me out quite a bit. So there's a factor of it's very impactful for calcs. And then the only world where Sneasler is going to stay in on POW is if he is a Scarf Sneasler, or if he is like a mixed set and he has like Vacuum Wave on him or something like that. Otherwise, you're not going to stay in on POW because you get Oko'd by Psychic Fangs. So for that reason, I decided to ignore the Sneasler. Sneasler can't swap into Banded POW. He takes like 70% from a crunch. So it can only come in after. And if I'd be forced out by a Sneasler that's swapping into POW anyway, there's no point in me creeping down Sneasler. It's a little more complicated than that. You still want to outspeed him in case it's needed. But with the Scarf Crown and my Sableye, I decided that I'm fine being slower than Sneasler. Next one up is Madeline or Hearth Flame. We have 8 HP, 244 attack, 136 defense, 120 speed, Adamant. I think we're creeping down to like an Adamant Lando or something. Maybe it's bundle up +1. It's one of those 2 speed points. I decided to go slow Ogrepon again, just because I think bulky Ogre is so strong. I find you rarely ever need to be super speedy on your Ogre. I find that the bulk just goes so far. You get so much out of it. So we have that. We have Cudgel, Low Kick, Trailblaze, U-turn for our moves because I had Horn Leech for a while, but I'm never really clicking it. Trailblaze gets me the speed boost to get above Stoys, whatever. And when I had Horn Leech, I had double grass moves. I ended up swapping out for U-turn because if Heatran comes in on me and I tear and I Cudgel, well, I don't think it's going to be a likely swap because um, if I don't Terra and I Cudgel, then you take a lot, and you're gonna die to the follow-up, low kick, follow-up, tantrum, whatever I choose to be on a coverage move. If it does happen, I want to have U-turn to get chip on it. It's also nice to have for the Ogre Pawn if I think he's gonna swap out to something and I don't know really what he's gonna go into, instead of having to like try to predict between like Ivy cudgeling, Stoys coming in, or if he jams in front of me and I'm low kicking instead of risking Lando coming in, helmet, him being scarf, clicking whatever, I can just U-turn and we can go from there. I chose low kick over stomping tantrum for the Ogre Pawn because I figured balloon or Shuka is more likely than Chopple on Heatran. It's about the same strength. Next one up, we got Blue Jean Baby, Iron Crown. From Choice Scarf on Crown this week, 92 HP, 252 special attack, 164 speed, modest. Volt Switch, Focus Blast, Tachyon Cutter, and Psyshock. Now, I really wanted to be a set of Crown this week, but Heatran, Blissey, and Sableye, all existing together just made that not possible, unfortunately. So then I was just gonna be a what's it called? A AV set like last time for bundle. But I figured instead of trying to answer bundle defensively, and have my team just get ran over by it, it's much better to just be Scarf Crown and then permanently be able to revenge bundle. Yes, bundle might come in and it might get a kill every time it hits the field. Very possible that happens. But if my crown is coming in return getting a kill every time bundle hits the field, then it's a lot more mitigated. Especially with the fact that I'm Scarf, so I'm gonna be winning the exchange against bundle, so I will be the one killing bundle. Bundle won't be the one killing me. The Volt Switch, Focus Blast, Tachyon, and Psyshock are moves. Volt Switch is there because we're leading this guy. Because last time I played bundle, when I faced Hearth, I led AV Crown because the last thing you want to do when you're bad in the bundle is you want to lead him on that's bad in the bundle. So we have Voltage if he is Specs bundle, or if he's like Boots or whatever, and he leads it, Voltage has a chance to just drop him outright. If it doesn't, whatever, we have Mesprit Helmet for that sequence because he will be clicking flip turn. Yeah, there's no reason for him to stay in. If I'm leading Crown into your bundle, you're gonna assume I'm a bulky AV set, so I'm gonna shrug off your hits. Focus Blast is there for the Heatran. Tachyon Cutter is there for the Sableye, the Lando. Psyshock is there for the Blissey and Sneasler. Now, you look at this matchup and okay, I can't spam Voltage because of the Landers. I can't spam Focus Blast because of the Sableye. I can't spam Tachyon because of Blissey because of Heatran. I can't spam Psyshock because of Heatran because of Sableye. But a lot, none of all four of those moves don't share every mon with each other. He loses Lando, Volt Switch is very, very free now. He loses Sableye, Psyshock is pretty free now. Now, Heatran can still swap in, sure, but it's a lot freer. Lando, say Lando's low, and Sableye said, okay, now Focus Blast I can spam because that's hitting the Heatran, hitting the Blissey, swapping it. Heatran dies, okay, now I can spam Tachyon because if I've shown Psyshock, Blissey has to be aware of it, whatever. The Scarf, it's fine having those restrictions on it because they're when we're gonna be using Crown, it's not gonna be in a world where I have to worry about all four of those at the same time, really impacting me. Also, I don't think all four of those come. I think you have Bundle, Lando. If you're bringing Sableye, and then say you have Sableye, if you're bringing Blissey, I'm not sure if you bring Heatran. I think you want Blastoise, and I think we want Sneasler on that because you want some speed that isn't bundle. And if you're bringing Heatran, I'm not too sure if you're going to be bringing Blissey for the same reason why I don't think you bring Blissey. If you bring Heatran, I don't think you bring Blissey for the same reasons as why if you bring Blissey, I don't think you bring Heatran. Just because I feel like they fulfill very similar roles this game. So Scarf Crown, it's a little rough clicking a move, but the value I get from it and the potential is well worth it. Next one up is our Mesprit, Deer Miss. Rocky Helmet, 240 HP, 252 defense, 8 speed F. Old, Healing Wish, Stealth Rocks, U-turn Beam. This is our swap into Lando. When Lando's in, I assume he's just gonna be setting up Stealth Rocks. I want to mirror his rocks. Put my own up. It's gonna be really impactful to figure out if that bundle is boots. If it's not boots, likely Scarf specs. Especially based off his Terra. If he's Terra Water, I'm gonna assume he's not boots. So that 25% on first entry is gonna be massive. Because that's almost in POW sucker range. If I lose my band, he's already in range anyway. He might be out of range from full. It might be a roll. Then Rocks makes it not a roll. The Rocks in general guarantee that Crown Okos with Volt Switch. The 25 makes it a lot easier to get him into attack on or Psyshock range from Crown. Rocks up means that my cyclizar kills at +1 with an outrage. So rocks are pretty important on chipping in the bundle. So we're gonna choose to trade rocks when Lando gets in. His spinner Stoice, but Stoice is kind of like pressed to actually find a situation to spin. Like you could spin against Mesprit, but I'm just like if I Ice Beam you and you spin, you're gonna lose like 20% of your health that turn. I'm just gonna set rocks up next turn, and like you're not winning that exchange long term. So rocks are gonna end up staying up for a long time. He's gonna want to set his rocks up as well for my Ogre Pond, for my POW, whatever. Healing Wish is just a broken move, so we have that as always. U-turn is just it's nice pivoting when I don't want to have to kill myself. Ice Beam is obviously there because if we're swapping to Lando, I have to be able to handle Lando. Now this next one up, this is probably one of the Mons I like the most on this team. I think the potential for this Mon is very, very high. And it's very easy to get value out of this. I don't think there will ever be a time in game where I get 0 value for the Cyclizar. So this is a bulky shift gear Cyclizar with leftovers, shed skin, 224 HP, 128 attack, 148 speed F, and 8 speed. Jolly nature, shift gear, aqua tail, ice spinner, and outrage. This is meant to pressure like mid to early game. And get one of Lando, Heatran, Blissey, Sableye out of the game and open up my crown a little more. One of those guys falls. Let's say it's Heatran. Now, okay, Ogerpon's cudgels are a lot more free. Ogerpon gets a kill that opens up the crown even more. Again, if it's Heatran, then it gets rid of a potential flame body for POW. POW gets in on something. It's a very comfortable crunch click. Okay, I get a kill that's simplifying the endgame. It's making crown better. So Cyclizar is very good at chipping something down or just eliminating one of the Mons. But there is also the very real fact that this Mon is, if Blastoise is not brought, if Blastoise is chipped, if Blastoise is dead when we go for this, we will most likely beat Heatran in the 1v1. That's our setup target. If Sableye comes in, I can go hard POW if I think he's gonna encore me. If I just if I clicked shift gear on a swap to Sableye. But if I just killed something and Sableye comes in, he can wisp me, he can T-wave me. I have a 33% chance to get rid of that status after I most likely kill the Sableye. Let's say he T-waves me. Say I set up, I kill the Heatran with Aqua Tail. Sableye comes in, it T-waves me. I kill Sableye. I shed skin off. I now have 2 kills with my Cyclizar. Sneasler dies to Outrage. Bundle dies to Outrage. Lando, I think Lando lives plot or like a neutral ice spinner if he's bulky and healthy. Blastoise takes half. Ogerpon takes a lot, Blissey takes a lot, Dundee. You get the point. It's very hard for him to stop, especially if he tries to use that Sableye to T-Wave. Because if I get the Shed Skin, I just get a free Sableye, and then you can go from there. The last one up here. Oh, yawning. Last one up here, got Boys of Fate to Sableye with Rocky Helmet. 248 HP, 252 defense, 8 speed F, Impish. Thunderwave, Will-O-Wisp, Recover, and Encore. So this is a very interesting set. We are running no moves on the Sableye. We're rocking double status. Now the reason we're rocking double status is because if I am in on the Sneasler or anything like that, I am clicking Thunderwave 100 times out of 100 times. If Lando comes in, I can then burn Lando. I win the 1v1 with Lando that way anyway. But I need to get a T-Wave on bundle if I status it. I cannot Wisp bundle. Now, if he decides to go Lando, take rocks, pivot out in the bundle on a Wisp after taking rocks, that's a lot of chip. I'd be fine with that exchange. Especially because I get a free 12% on Lando to get the burn on bundle. What I don't want is to be on Sneasler, come in on Sneasler. Sneasler switches out to bundle as I Wisp. And then bundle get Wisp, Lando take no damage, whatever. There's also the fact that if I T-Wave on a Lando swap, he will not necessarily expect me to be Wisp as well. Double status isn't too, like, you mainly expect him to be one status rather than both. Recover is just there to stick around, and then Encore is to help with the, like I set up Sneasler. This Sableye, it's very strong in the matchup in the sense that Sneasler can't break it, Lando can't break it, Ogerpon can like Encore me, but that's not breaking me. Heatran can, but I switch it on Heatran. In a late game situation, Heatran's gonna be dead. This Stabilizer really hard for him to remove. He's gonna have to go bundle, and he's gonna have to give me a T-Wave on bundle, and then that just opens up the game so much. My Pow's faster than it, my Ogerpon's faster than it, my Crown's faster than it. So the Stabilizer does a really good job at opening up the end game. Helmet's really nice to get chip on the land, just get a chip on the Sneasler as well. Wears everything down. The double status reminds me of a point I want to talk about with Pow. The reason I'm double cryo on Pow instead of having Psychic Fangs for the Sneasler and ignoring that speed tier. Double status isn't the most common thing. Or double prio. I usually pick one of Shard or Sucker, and then you fill out the rest of your moves with like Crunch, Ice Cold Crash, Sacred Sword, Psychic Fangs, Swords Dance, stuff like that. But with being double prio, I'm able to Shard Lando in case he's Scarf. I'm able to Shard Ogerpon if he's Scarf. But then I'm able to Sucker the bundle. I'm able to Shard the Sneasler. I'm like the difference between Shard and Sucker on bundle and Sneasler, it's insane. So it's that alone makes it worth the swap. But also it can, like, if it's Scarf Lando and let's say I Sucker Punch the bundle, I kill it. He's like, okay, he has Sucker Punch, he doesn't have Ice Shard. My Lando lives this. Boom, you get Ice Sharded. Or vice versa, I Ice Shard Lando. He's like, okay, his Cryo's Ice Shard. Bundle comes out, bundle dies to Sucker Punch or whatever. So having double status felt really strong and really helpful. But that is going to be all for the team builder. I've yapped on for almost 20 minutes now. Yeah, that's the team. I will see you all in the battle. Peace. Alright, we are here for the battle, and unfortunately, I'm a fucking idiot, and my game is so loud you cannot hear me. So unfortunately, I will be having to post-com this game, but it's whatever. I'm post-comming this right after the game, so I remember all my thoughts of the battle. So hopefully I'll be able to explain everything I said in the live battle. Just make sure this is muted, and we'll put this on 1.5 speed. Alright, so whatever, we're loading in. He's gonna show a 6, and he's gonna reveal his water bundle. So what I expected, whatever. Alright, here. Now we're gonna lead off into the Heatran. Now, this is the lead I was fine with. I accepted that I might have a unfavorable lead. with Crown turn 1, but I need to stop that bundle. So I was like, here, we're just gonna Volt Switch out. And I was thinking about who to Volt Switch into. I was like, I can go cyclizar. I was like, but it's very early to get my cyclizar in. Like, he just goes, like, I can Aqua Tail, the Sableye comes in, doesn't do much. I can't shift gear this early, because if Sableye comes in Encore or whatever, and he's got rocks for free. So I decided to be really aggressive here, and I'm gonna decide to go Ogerpon, because I am expecting rocks, and I really want to punish those rocks. So like you can see, I'm contemplating cyclizar. Ultimately, I just had to go Ogerpon. So Ogerpon's gonna get sent out here. And we're gonna catch a mean Magmastorm to the dome. That, that should hurt. But it's whatever. That Hedron didn't take a whole lot from Voltwitch, so it is it's Spinef Hedron. I know I Oko this guy with low kick. I'm just gonna click it. You can go Sableye here, but you know, like Sableye takes a lot from a Stomping Tantrum. So I think your first pivot could be like Landorus, could be like in Jetpack, Blastoise because I'm never clicking Grass move. And then I also had a feeling he could be Protect. I've played Mag once before, and he brought like the exact same Heatran. It was super fat Magmastorm leftovers, Protect, Haunts. I think he had Flash Cannon last because my team was like it was a very fairy team. And then now after he Protect on the low kick, I'm like, okay, you're not gonna sack your Heatran to this. But if you're Fizz Def, I'm also not sure I KO. So I'm just gonna choose the U-turn out. As Sableye's gonna come in, so I'm gonna get a big U-turn off on Sableye. And the great thing about this is Sableye's one of the mons that's just a very free gym power. I don't have to worry about anything. You can put a screen up, but you're putting up a screen to lose your Sableye. And then, you know, if you lose your Sableye, you can't stop my spins for the rest of the game, so cyclizar could easily be your Heatran. Your screen is very limited. But where's he lefty? So I'm not worried about screens. I don't think you're leftovers with screens. I think you need to be leg play. So this is a super free crunch here. I'm not too worried about anything. So I was just finishing marking this team there with that pause. We're just going to fire for crunch. As Blastoise is gonna come in, and this guy is just gonna get smoked. That showed he's like full Fizz Def. So I wanted to make sure he wasn't like some bulky Scarf set to come in. I don't even know if Scarf Squoist can outspeed Chimpow. We just had to make sure, but we got hit with Crunch there. So we had a really bad start with our Ogerpon taking so much damage. We're kind of back into it now. We lost our Ogerpon, he lost his Sableye, so or I mean we still have our Ogerpon, but he lost his Sableye, so I'm not too upset about that trade. As for commit, I was thinking we could see a Sneasel, we could see Bundle, we could see Lando, and then we were gonna see Lando come in. Now this is like he's gonna set rocks here. We're gonna go Mesprit. I don't care if you set rocks. I'm getting mine up too. So we are gonna see rocks go up here. Again, I'm completely fine with this. I was just checking my Ogerpon, and my Ogerpon is in range. It is in range of rocks. So the only way I keep my Ogerpon is if I get an H-Wish into it. But that third of Ogerpon is still so big. If I can KO Heatran and I can get an H-Wish into it, it's still so strong. But here I'm just gonna like to go for my rocks. I was debating between U-turning and rocking. Because I really didn't want to forfeit a turn to bundle. But I figured if he was bundled, I can just sack my Ogerpon. I'm likely not H-wishing it. I think he's just gonna last too long. But then he's gonna come in here as I get my rocks up. Now it's getting like, okay, this guy is pretty annoying for me to deal with. He's kind of frustrating for my team. So I'm just gonna U-turn out, get into the cyclizar. Big crit U-turn there, by the way. Will matter so much in the future. As we're just gonna go cyclizar here. Now, I know you don't want to give up a spin to basically you're gonna stop this. You're gonna stop the spin. But instead of going hard Sableye, I know for sure you're gonna protect first. There's no reason not to protect. Um, cyclizar really doesn't get anything to punish like a protect. It's only shift gear. Um, but you have to be pretty psycho to bring shift gear cyclizar into a Sableye, you know. Um, but now I'm just like debating: do I want to Aqua Tail and cover the Sableye, and kind of forfeit that if you protect, then I'm in a worse spot. Or do I want to call it protect and I want to go for the shift gear? I decided I think I'm in a good enough position if Sableye comes in. I'm not too threatened by this guy. Um, I'd rather get a shift gear off and I'd rather really punish or protect. And we're gonna get it right. We're gonna see the protect come out. Now we're in a good spot. We're gonna do a good amount of damage to this guy. And if he does decide to switch out, he's gonna be taking a lot of damage on whatever comes in. So we're just gonna Aqua Tail here. If this is Fizdef, it's gonna do under half, but it's really nice to know it is Fizdef. If it's Spidef, it's gonna do a lot. That damage gonna come out. It's gonna show that it is a Spidef Heatran. He's just max HP. But we get another hit off. We're gonna live another round of we live another one after that, too. Um so we get for sure one more hit off. Now here I'm thinking like he's gonna protect this guy for leftovers. I could go for a really aggressive shift gear. And if I get that right, what does he do to stop this? Like he gives up this guy, he'd have to go Sableye, he'd have to like encore me or wisp slash T-wave me. But if he wisps or T-waves me and then I pull, I should skin it off right away. He's in such a bad spot. Now, granted, he doesn't. I don't think he will expect me to be Shutskin. Um, but I decided I'm just gonna go for the Alcatel. I'm just gonna keep him honest. Force as much chip on this guy as I can. As I'm just far from another Aqua Tail here, we're gonna die to Magma Storm. My way does here. So we could see a like greedy double protect attempt. But our play's the same. We're just gonna Aqua Tail. And he's barely gonna live. Uh, which is unfortunate, but you know, can't. It was not a roll in my favor. It was like very much in his favor there. And I'm here in a weird spot because I don't really revenge this guy the greatest. We can go Crown. We pretty much have to. We have a Side Shock, Full Switch, or Focus Blast I can kill. And then we can go POW and we can kill pretty much anything except for Ice Shard and kill. Uh, but POW coming in, whatever we lock, you know, Bundle can come in, Sneasler could come in. Crown, it's in like if I Volt Switch and use Lando, I'm in a bad spot. If I Side Shock and use Stable, I'm in a bad spot. If I Focus Splash and use Stable, I'm in a bad spot. So I decided I'm just gonna go Crown. I'm going to Side Shock because I've already decided I don't care about CLI getting a free entry. Um, I decided that a couple turns ago my cycles are I have to honor that, like stay honest to that opinion, and I have to just be willing to accept that CLI could come in. Um, he's gonna get that lefty healing there. Now, I do believe that. Oh no, I'm dumb. I was about to say I think he was. This might have been a roll. Because when I looked at the game, I thought it was 20%, but that was at 15, so that always died to that side shock. The Aqua damage showed he wasn't Fizdef at all. He was like a Spidef or like a fast Heatran. So I didn't care about him potentially living that. Now see how that comes out. Now here I decided to go to POW. Play aggressive, not let Sableye get like cover off for free. Set like a screen for free. Um I kinda completely forgot that this could happen. Um Ends up working out fine. I get knocked off, which, you know, it's shitty losing my band. But then I realized in the game, I was like, I'm actually fine with that. Like, I got my big value from band. I 2-go'd the Blastoise. Like, I got my big kill. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still Champ. I'm forcing so much damage on this guy. Lando can come in, but now because I'm no longer banned, I can ice move the Lando. Um, Bundle comes in. If I ice move Lando, if I ever ice move Lando, I'm not locked into it. I can sucker punch the bundle. So I was all around. I was just pretty happy with that. Um, Now after getting that crunch off, I was like, okay, we're just gonna ice shield this guy. Um, because if he switches out, you're never switching to bundle. You never want to give me a free crunch on bundle. Especially with the rocks, if you're like you're killing your bundle here, so you can never switch in the bundle. Ice shard. If you just had to go Lando on a crunch to like preserve the sack, it really punishes you. If you just had to go Sneasler, um, they're very similar damage. I think I actually think the exact same rolls are like pretty much the same. Um, but it's just it covers. It stops the screen was my main thought. Now Sneasler comes out. I'm just gonna go hard into my pal. He revealed balloon, so I know he's not scarfed. But in my head, I was really scared of it being like vacuum wave or something really strange like that. So let's say we're gonna see Loka come out, which is a good bring. I didn't realize it in game, but that like smokes all my dark types. It's like the same power CC. I think it's 120 into POW. It's 120 into the Ting. It's at +2. You're Okoing cyclizar anyway. So that was a very good bring. As that play was when I like it. I really wanted the wisp, but I really had to. I'd stick with my plan. I can't wisp the bundle. I need to save para for that guy. Lando comes in, free wisp. I'll always take that wisp on like IG's gonna use turn out. Do more damage to himself than he did to me there. As again, like I said, this table is just Thanos thing. Like you, Sneasel isn't killing it. Lando isn't killing it. Bundle. The only way you kill is if you give me a T-wave on bundle. Um, so like this again, like it seems like Thanos. Um, Sneaker's gonna come out again. You can give me T-Wave on this guy, you can give me T-Wave on bundle, you can go back to your Lando and you can get nothing done. So um I was just fine clicking T-Wave here. There's nothing I was really scared of. Maybe he was trying to stall out my 30 T-Waves to get his bundle in. I think your Lando's gonna die before you get that done though. It's easy gonna land on this too, but again, like I don't care. I beat this guy. This guy he's burned. I believe I would heal EQ even if he's not burned. Um, so I super out heal it, but he's gonna show taunt, which is like that was a very bad reveal. Um, really, it was a very annoying one. Um, so now he pops citrus, he gets a little healthier. I'm like, okay, that's whatever. Now here is really where I made a play that. To be honest, think with this, I'm not even too sure if this is the time to do it. I stand by the reasoning for it, but I looked at the game state and I realized if I get my Mesprit in a position where I want to click Healing Wish, which is very possible, I can do it on a Paralyzed Sneasel, I can do it on Beast Sneasel, I can do it on the Slanders very freely. Um, there's no world I want to put that into my Overpawn. If I do that, I'm gonna want to put it in my POW. I'm gonna want to put it into my save life if I get low or something. I'm gonna want to put it in my crown if I use it. There's no world where I want to put it into my Ogrepon because I get no value out of this Ogrepon. I can KO Lando, but then Sneasel will kill me after rocks. Bundle will kill me. If I put it into POW, I kill Lando. Can Sucker Punch bundle. I can hit the Sneasler. I'm faster than the Sneasler because as long as its balloon isn't popped. Um, and then here I was really thinking about what I want to do to revenge it. I wanted to keep Lando on the field because I wanted to sack Ogrepon to keep Lando on the field because I wanted to dictate what happened. I didn't want him to U-turn into me and then he choose to go into bundle or Sneasler and then I react to that. I want to go into this. You're gonna react to me. Um, So the way I decided to do this was I decided to go MysticalLeafeon outside of the U-turn. I was thinking about going POW. The thing I didn't like about POW, I don't threaten Caesar. It's just I don't know what that last move, the last moves are on Caesar. I've only seen low kick. So I don't want to give it free turns if I can. Like if I can not give it a free turn, I'd rather not to. And again, it just lets him bundle. Whereas if I go, if I have to shard this guy, if I shard on bundle, then it's pretty bad. Um, that was the bigger thing with the turn count though. Now, I said I'm just gonna U-turn because I don't care if Sneasler comes in. I have a Sableye for the Sneasler. And you can tell much on Lando was another big thing. If he decides to not U-turn, he decides to like taunt me, then it's whatever. I get my Sableye and I can encore you into taunt. And that's weird, encoring yourself. Encoring them into taunt your no attack Sableye. But then I get a free switch out into my crown. I get a free switch out into my mess spread. I'm still dictating what's happening. So all in all, it's pretty fun with that. And now here, I pop his balloon. Whatever. I have the Sableye. The Sableye is gonna smoke this guy. There's nothing he can have for me. You know, I T-wave him. I can Will-O-Wisp him. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I forget what I was looking at there. I had the T-wave and then I miss. I'm like, okay. But then he taunts me. I'm like, oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. I'm in a bad spot now. Just know that U-turn does matter a lot. Um, so I just tried. I'm just gonna go mess for it. If you have third drop, if you have Shadow Claw, you have third drop or Shadow Claw. I don't. There's not much I can do to stop that. So I just go mess for it. I believe I just end up healing wishing here. My click doesn't really matter though. I'm gonna end up dying more often than not in this turn, which I end up doing. Yeah, I get third chopped. There's not. I know all four moves. And I know this Sableye takes third chop plus 2 third chop fairly well. It's like 60% max. I think it's like 53 to 64 or something around that range. And I was thinking for a bit, and then I saw the line I decided to end up taking here. So this Sneasler is at a pretty decent amount of health. But I have Helmet. Helmet's gonna start chipping down really quickly. And because it only does like 50 to 60, I can get a lot of recovers off. So the route I decided to end up taking was encore it into throat chop, recover as much as I can to force as many helmets, and then I shared with Pow. If you decide to go bundle, on Pow, I have Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch puts you into my crown range. Crown wins. If you decide to go Lando on Ice Shard, you fucking lose your Lando, and then you go Pow, or then you go. You have to go what's his face, bundle, and then again I Sucker Punch your bundle. Now you're in crown range. Um, Sneasler, if it was hard Sneasler again, that'd be annoying, but whatever. He's decided to go hard Lando on the encore. I decide I have to call him taunting. Now he is going to decide to U-turn. I'm gonna leave that on 11. Now something that this ended up being fun because I never died to that U-turn. We shared pace after the game, and he with his invest he actually did 108 max. Funnily enough. Well, this was something I should have checked. I should have checked that I lived like a no attack hit because U-turn stealth rocks taunt very much hints at a bulky Lando. I don't think you're gonna be max attack if you're that. So I should have checked that I lived a no attack U-turn. Knowing I did this play is completely fine. If I know I live U-turn, this is my play at 1,000 times. At 1,000 times, I'm never doing anything else. But I wasn't sure if I did that, so that was a very risky play for no reason. But anyway, I get the live. And I know my POW is in a power position. I know the Sneasler doesn't have any cryo, and it forces in this bundle who isn't boost, which is huge to see. So now here, the only way this game goes bad is if he is like sub bundle and he subs up on the Sucker Punch. But I believe I won either way because if he subs, he loses 25% of his health. I go crown. I volt switch. I break your sub. I sack my stabilize. If you sub again on crown, then I can tachyon you. You're now in range. 2 tachyons would kill. Then if you don't, then my crown comes out. I still kill you, and then the Lando and the Sneasler are both also in range. So I think this was kind of locked down no matter what. And then he didn't end up having sub. I didn't expect him to. I expected him to be Scarf for Specs. He's gonna take a lot from that. Almost get put in rock range. He killed my POW with U-turn, but now this game is locked up. There is a bundle who it could be faster, could be slower than my crown. I don't know. There's a Sneasler and a Lando who are both guaranteed slower and are both in range of my crown. So I send my crown out. Now here I was thinking between locking Psyshock, locking Tachyon. The rationale between one of the two is Psyshock is better. I'm scared of like a bulky Sneasler. If it's like max HP Sneasler, it could live a Tachyon. If it's like a very bulky set. If it's a full Fizz Lando, it could live a Psyshock depending on where it's at. Because I didn't remember the percentage. I usually write down what they're at. I didn't write down what Lando was at, so I missed it. Don't know what he's chilling at. Ultimately, I decided to lock Psyshock because if Lando is out of range, I just sack my Sableye. Lando comes out. Now I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, I'm at 302 HP. If he is Choice Scarf Bundle, Modest, Arrow Water, Choice Scarf, Hydro Pump, does not kill me. You'd have to crit. Terra Blast crit would have to be a high roll. There's only 2 rolls from a Modest, Scarf, Terra Water, Terra Blast crit that kill me here. So this is very my favorite. I click Psyshock, he ends up being Specs. I KO the bundle, and we win with Crown. Very, very fun game. I think right after that, I said this. I was like, "What a game! This might be one of the most enjoyable, one of the funnest games I've ever played in Pokemon." Lando ended up being in range of Crown. We're just gonna click Psyshock. We're gonna clean that guy up, and Choice Scarf Crown is gonna bring us to the promised land of beating Terra Iron Bundle. So we're gonna pick up a nice 2-0 win on Meg there. Off the back of 4 kills from Crown and 2 kills from POW. So those two really held it down. Huge GG's to Meg. Unreal game. He played phenomenal. He brought really good pace. I was so scared once I missed that T-Wave. I was scared at the very beginning. And then we had a really good start. We got the Stoice out right away. Our cyclizar traded for the Huchain, which is like perfect. Like that's all I needed cyclizar to do this game. Chip down the Huchain, did it perfectly. That opened up my crown really easily. Opened up my I powered before about Flame Body, but it was really opening up the crown. And we managed to battle back from that Overpawn stack. Pretty much an Overpawn stack turn 1. So GG's to Meg. I will be seeing you all next week. In round 4 playoffs, which would be our second game. I'm not sure who we play at this point. I believe it's Crep or whoever they play. Could not tell you who Crep plays, but winner of that game I think is who we're playing. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. I will see you all in a week. Peace.